thought SmackDown wouldn't impress me. It didn't. In any way, shape, or form, it did not. Was it better than Raw? A bit. A bit. Just by time management's sakes. Raw dragged on. The 24/7 championship isn't that entertaining, but at least it's a change of pace to see every jobber go for a championship that won't last that long as an Intercontinental, US, or Cruiserweight. Hell, even the Universal Championship. Brock Lesnar somehow has the longest reign, but the lowest amount of title defenses. Less than CM Punk. First opening match was, obviously, your WWE Champion that's been opening shows and matches for the past several weeks since fucking having the belt. Seriously, Kofi Kingston has been better chasing the championship than winning it. He's having match openers with a former opponent from Money in the Bank just weeks after the pay-per-view. And guess what? They just try to make a reason for them to fight just off showing a long-ass vignette. Was the vignette good? The feud Kevin Owens joining the New Day was only for a 2-week thing, and they know it was a forceful way for Kofi Kingston to have a personal rivalry so he can have a legit title defense. Other than that, I don't give a shit. This was a SmackDown match. This was not much. This didn't tell a story. Dolph Ziggler didn't come to interrupt like he did on Monday, but he didn't have to on SmackDown because I think Ziggler's still a Raw superstar. But I don't know why they had to open the match. This should have been like semi-main event. This made no damn sense, and it just ended up with Kofi Kingston hooking up a Trouble in Paradise for the victory. Other than that, there was a few good moves off Kevin Owens because we know Kofi Kingston and Kevin Owens could have good matches, just not this one was better than their Money in the Bank match. Next up was involving Heavy Machinery coming back on TV, facing off against Daniel Bryan and Rowan, even though they had a backstage moment just weeks ago. Then somehow being like, congratulations. Oh my god. No issue of match schedules ever. Thanks for getting rid of the GMs, by the way. You literally made the Heavy Machinery come there for no reason if you had the referee come and be like, oh, never mind, not this time, fuck you. Come on. It was an awkward segment, because we know Tucker Knight can't talk, and Otis is fucking retarded. So this was a completely retarded segment. It was awkward and weird, nothing other than the vegan and planetarian guy. I don't care about this. It's like you have meat-eating weightlifters against vegan technical wrestler. It's like, it should be an entertaining storyline, but you guys should have more backstage segments before you try to push a tag team title match. We couldn't even have a number one contenders match, and we have a week before the pay-per-view. And I know they'll try to force it down our throats for this awkward segment. And before we even went to the next segment, we had Amanda Rose tossing magazines everywhere. Even Amber Moon had one. Why is she reading Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? It was a piss poor segment just to know that she had herself in a magazine. So that was cool to gather some heat. She picked up the win. That's pretty good. And the only notable thing in the match was a running knee to the face, a few roll-ups, a moonwalk. It was textbook 5-minute Divas match. Fuck you if you think I'm being offensive. This was a really boring match, and we know Carmella's just going to be in the filler moments with R-Truth. So the point of this match was just for Amanda Rose to gather a bit of heat, and Sonya Deville to look like a dyke more. So that was a pretty segment. Then we had Shane McMahon Appreciation Night. Before we had that, it was Aleister Black being like, I need to fight fucking somebody for a reason for me to continue with these vignettes that are wasting my time. Or else I'm gonna have the Emelina of fucking vignettes and an entrance that lasts that shitty. Cause imagine, it's like And he's gone. That's how I felt. That's how I feel about these vignettes. They're pointless. It doesn't involve same thing. Same thing with the Firefly Funhouse. This will be more impactful if it involved more wrestlers involved in it. He's not, and they're not in the feud, and these guys have been in feuds before. So the point of this not like affecting like and getting more wrestlers involved is proving why WWE is failing to get most of these guys over. That they're really struggling to push most of the guys that don't give a shit about their brand split anymore. And now they have to pull the potential main eventers like Drew McIntyre and Elias down our throats by showing them both on Raw and SmackDown now, even though these guys are both Raw superstars. Then, when R-Truth was escaping most of the jobbers, he came around the ring and interrupted Shane Appreciation Night. Took a Claymore kick to the face and got pinned by Elias. This gathered zero heat, and it showed that, over Elias' escapism and charismatic way to get him stuff, I expected him to hold the championship for at least after Super Showdown. But then he lost it at the main event. They had another rerun of Firefly Funhouse. I did not care. Because they always rerun it. They even rerun the vignette involving Randy Orton and Triple H. Like, this is such a historic rivalry. This is next week. This is such a historic rivalry. Finally, Super Showdown. The match is gonna fucking suck. It sucks ass. Triple H is too old. And Triple H is injured as shit. And Randy Orton don't give a shit about this match. Because he didn't get another world title match. He wants to face Jinder Mahal again and shoot him in the head. Next up, we had a pretty it match with Lacey Evans. I thought she was going to botch a few of the flips. I think she's incredibly long and tall. This bitch is really long and tall. We had a vignette involving Lacey Evans and Charlotte Flair drinking tea. It's like, oh, this actually is a good combination. Both of these women are in the South. Look exactly the same. Both of these women look great. Both kids show a bit of like intrigue with a gimmick. Maybe they can tag up and actually build up a tag division for the women. Plus, these women have their own individual characteristics. So, and after Lacey Evans lost via roll up, she ate a big boot in the face. So that short alliance only lasted like 2 weeks. Thanks, Lacey Evans and Charlotte lost one tag match, and Lacey Evans got pinned by the women's champion. So whatever's going to happen is going to stick with maybe Charlotte and Lacey going at it for the women's championship to face Bayley. Yada, yada, yada. This match was kind of trash. There's a running knee to the face. Lacey Evans has no notable moves of calling. And the commentary table was just finding ways how to insult Byron Saxton. Or that other black guy that does not look like, Tarver's gay boyfriend. Do not watch NXT to get that reference. Next up was the main event of the evening. That was Roman Reigns versus and R-Truth. When Roman Reigns is just so this is just a regular Roman Reigns match. But everyone, even involving the Shield. I thought the lighter weight has to get his moves in. 1, 2, celibate. Both men have to take a bump. Hot tag. Clothesline, drop kick. Samoan, one arm Samoan drop. Then Superman punch that's just jacking off your arm, pushing it to the floor. Spear. And another spear to get back R-Truth's 24/7 championship. So Elias, all that potential, flew out the window. When are we gonna stop ruining R-Truth and Drew McIntyre and Elias? These guys are great single stars. Why do they have to associate each other because they're heels? They do the same thing with Nakamura and Rusev. Wasn't Rusev a babyface with that Rusev Day crap? And then they start affiliating with each other on tag teams. I swear to God, these faggots are on superstars now. wasting all their fucking time. What's with the actual guys that we should be pushing, other than R-Truth with a 24/7 championship that looks worse than my created championships that I had in the previous generation of wrestling games. I swear to God, I had worse belts designed than that, and they still look better than the 24/7 championship. The backstage segments were crap. Shane McMahon's segment was crap. I feel like they had a bit better wrestling matches, but they weren't that intriguing. Things they didn't tell much of a story or advance anything, because most of this stuff is already like cut and dry. Solo for Super Showdown, and I don't know if they're trying to rush because WWE doesn't know how to like develop characters anymore. Unless you're a really good wrestler and you know how to develop your own character. So this is a really crappy set piece for nearly next week. That's the go home show for both SmackDown and Raw. So anything else, this show is a complete bore fest. Plus, most of the top guys in the roster are not even coming, either because of religious interests, because they're banned for suspicions, because they're uncomfortable. Women are not even allowed to be there to begin with, so fuck Super Showdown for any of the women trying to display their talents. And the SmackDown gets a 4 out of 10. Other than the decent wrestling, there was nothing to advance anything. None of these characters had to show off their skills, no good promos, too many reruns, wasting everybody's time. And Kofi Kingston is the blandest WWE champion I've ever seen in my fucking life. He wrestles like he's supposed to be facing somebody like Chavo Guerrero or Santino Marella or Dolph Ziggler. He does not wrestle like he's going to beat the fuck out of John Cena or Triple H or Randy Orton, AJ Styles, Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns. I can name all those top guys that can actually wrestle a match and keep a top pop. Kofi Kingston can't get a hype crowd from a house show. He can't even get a hype crowd off a fucking backyard show. That's how disinteresting Kofi Kingston is as WWE champion. I'm shocked people always being like, "Oh, it's a feel good moment." Shut the fuck up. You don't watch wrestling like that. Then you don't. I do, because I'm a big fan of this product, and since I was a little boy, it kept my attention. I'm nearly a grown man now. It doesn't keep my attention. You know why? Because we have two niggas holding championships, and they're disinteresting. We have a women's tag team championship where there were very little screen time. Becky Lynch didn't even show up. Bayley has very little character. Lacey Evans, they keep shoving her through our goddamn faces, and yet she has no character and no promo style ever. She can speak Southern, and she's ladylike. She never wanted to call Amber Moon, and yeah, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna go there. I'm not saying the N word. Other than that, the show was a complete bore fest. Nothing of this got my attention. All of this was just to push the Super Showdown, and the matches that we were developing weekly and monthly aren't even gonna be as big as what they have with Triple H and Randy Orton or Goldberg and the fucking Undertaker. I wouldn't even waste my breath with Andrade and Finn Balor, because we know how great these guys are, but you know this is going to be like kickoff. You know that, right? This is why these little Saudi shows or whatever the fuck they are in the Middle East ain't going to cut it. As much as WWE's producing and getting that much money with messing with these bombers, these motherfuckers are not going to hit a cinch from how much money they made to make their own goddamn restaurant and their own fucking football league. Now that's coming back next year, but WWE's already failing financially, mainstream-wise, and otherwise and pop culture-wise. Other than Attitude Era superstars and a few of them from the Ruthless Aggression era, no nigga in this current age even heard of Roman Reigns. WWE sucks now. It's gonna suck then. It's gonna suck forever. Fuck you for that reference, by the way. Yeah, I fucking did not like this show. I hope SmackDown gets a bit better because I'm really trying to give an above 5 out of 10 rating right now. I'm really being desperate. Hell, I might try to review an review an NXT episode just to get my spirits up because NXT actually gives me new superstars, coherent storytelling, surprise wrestlers to come by, and a well-built pay-per-view that's hell. It's like 3 or 2 months of build-up. WWE is 2 to 4 involving the Saudi shows and pay-per-views that the only recognizable names they brought back was Backlash and No Mercy that you can barely remember at all. It's that depressing that they don't even make Backlash the pay-per-view right after WrestleMania. They have to bring Money in the Bank because they need hype factor after a shitty 5-hour pay-per-view. Come on, man. This was crap and you know it. I don't know you guys are going to skim by the review because you guys don't care about WWE and it's proving my point. Thank you for watching, everybody. I wish I didn't have to say it like this.